I demand pictures of Dave. Honestly, I am super impressed by Layla. I can't wait to see her take over the Global Loot League Instagram tomorrow. But I'm hoping she changes her mind because that mustache was born to be photographed. Now, there is our shiny trophy. Actually, that's Dave's paramour. We saw they had an affair. We laid that bare in yesterday's show, and we're having to keep them apart. That's probably why we've put Dave outside. He's outside with the public, mingling at the moment. And two people, actually, who are outside the doors are our mates, Esquire and Toby. We haven't left them out in the cold, I promise. Look, they've got their own lounge. It is our second stream. Look at them.
So chill.
They have no idea that we're talking about them, and I'm
not even sure. I don't even think
it.
Toby took off his pajamas before he came in today. Like, that's the most relaxed I think I've seen him in a long time.
It's the loosh. It's the lounge stream.
It's
that's their right. It's the loosh.
As it should be.
Attitude.
And someone else is joining them.
There we go. I feel like I'm watching a reality TV show.
It kind of is a reality TV show.
Dave's just walking in.
Dave's just photobombing them. Oh, he's stealing their
water.
Oh,
yeah, he's going to join them. Yeah, hi, guys.
And if you want to see what Dave is saying, actually, if you go to live.gll.gg, you can check out our stream and you can check out theirs. And let us know how you're watching the show today using the hashtag GLL, and of course tweet us at Global Loot.
How many screens are you using? So there's one for the main stream, there's the lounge stream, and then there's the live map interaction. So there's potentially three screens. I've got 3 screens at home. I'll probably have them all. Yeah. Just one on each.
Absolutely.
I would recommend having the map stream, map.gll. map.gll, smooth. map.gll.gg. Have it on your phone because it's interactive. Oh. So you want to zoom in and out, right? You want to see those rotations as they happen. It's basically going to be training up people to take our jobs, guys. Just so you're aware.
No, weatherman's in danger.
Analysts are coming for us anyway. Yeah. But let's do some analysis while we do still have our job. Scream, I would love you to talk to me about Accelerate because you noticed they had a bit of a hard time with their drop spot in that last round, didn't they?
Yeah, the Accelerator, they're known to loot split from Minas Generales, and then 2 of them actually loot like the northeast of Los Leones, just outside of it. And they tend to do this a lot, and when I see them, unless they get contested in Minas Generales, they do this split comfortably, and I have not yet seen a team punish them. And El Gigante, that last game, they actually, they knew about it, and they grouped us 4. They waited for them, and they just wiped 2 of Accelerate, and that ended up costing them 2 teammates in a circle that actually should favor them, because they, in the first game of the tournament, it actually ended similar to what we just saw. Accelerate did end up in, I think they came 2nd or 3rd place, so that circle is really favorable for them. So I'm curious to see if they're going to adjust the base now that El Gigante have realized that they can actually punish them.
And they had a strong start yesterday in terms of the standings, but now they're at number 11, Avenger, so the wrong side of the tracks.
For me here, I feel like their drop on Miramar is extremely weak. Yeah. They are on a wrangle, they drop Kaminsky Stalber. They are late rotators. They don't care about the first 2 circles. Here, they're playing central, and they don't take their time looting. They kind of, because if you loot central, you happen to get some circles, right? And if you happen to get a circle where you're kind of in a good position in the first circle, then you change your playstyle. Yeah. And I feel like I would rather want to see them in, Abel del Mar, Alcantara, El Caparilla, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong for my Spanish pronunciation here. It's the reason why you're having here YouTube pronunciation, my Miramar. No, but I feel like their playstyle on Miramar is completely different from what they do on Erangel, and I want to see them play the same playstyle because that's what they really succeed at on Erangel, and that's what they had such a good performance online.
Well, Toffees, speaking of a team that has had a great performance, particularly today, so United.
I talked to United when they came in today. They said that, we're going to try to do better for you. And I thought that today's format of starting on Erangel, going to Miramar would favor them, get them warmed up on Erangel, and then the North American teams tend to, when they go big, do it on Miramar because it's a little more foreign to some of our established European teams. And I think that they're living up to that. I mean, if you talk about their scores right now, they're 500. So last game, they earned 576 points off of that win. They're 290 points behind taking over 1st place. Not even like 2nd in catching phase, but getting in front of Unique. Yeah. So one more big game that's even half as big as their last one, and they take over the lead. So these guys, who were my dark horse pick on day 1, really feel like they're feeling this tournament. They've got a good vibe. We heard the interview with Vegas. He wants this to be his last hurrah, and he's got the confidence. He said, I saw 3 of them, and I thought, I can go 3 versus 1, like 3v1. Like, Who says that? That's amazing. So I want to see them keep building that confidence and smash into these last games.
A 17-year-old with very little life experience, Toffees. That's who says that.
If you got the gun skills, I don't care about the experience.
And Scoom actually just put his hand up. I don't know if you wanted to add a point or you're saying you do.
And I saw that he had 17 kills as well, so that's pretty funny. I mean, yeah.
What, they only had 17 kills?
It's a Vegas show, though. You saw
Vegas.
Vegas
has 17 kills,
Okay,
and the rest of his teammates almost
so
the same.
he's in the top 3 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has more kills than all of Team Ready combined.
Envious, though. I want to talk a bit about them. They're equally cold here. They're on 8th right now. They're in the middle of the pack. With one good game, they can put themselves up there. They were here early playing the snow map. I feel like they're ready. They are warmed up and everything. But I really want to see them play more aggressively as we see them playing online. Play together as a unit. Play their style as they play online, because I feel like in this kind of edge meta that we see at this LAN, I feel like they could succeed with the same playstyle that they had online.
If I had a guess, Venerated, I know he's making the calls right now. Yeah. He feels like he's not being as aggressive or Interrogate is a strong personality, and he's very vocal when it comes to what's happening in comms. Yeah. And I don't know if maybe Venerated is getting still comfortable with that, but I think he needs to just sack up and make some hard calls, yell for the pushes, and make his team go after them, because he's a smart kid. He knows his stuff, and I want to see them step up to that.
And they're slowly doing better today. I mean, they're kind of creeping up. They were in the second bracket. They were like around top 12, and now they're like 8th place on the left side of the bracket, and slowly getting themselves more comfortable.
The last game we saw from them, they were in when phase 2 popped. They were in the edge. They got gatekept by Besiktas. I don't even want to see them on the edge on phase 2 on Miramar. I want to see them push. I want to see them go center so they can play aggressive, because once they get their boots on the ground, then they can play their style.
Or do what Optic did. They played the edge in the city, and then they made like a flying V straight out of like Disney culture, right? And just charged right into the middle and took that dip, and that ultimately won them the game. They're not doing that right now in NB. They're sort of like saying, all right, let's take this spot, and then, you know, willy-nilly running around as a group, but like they need to just get that arrow-like precision and go there.
Sorry, that made me laugh so much. To be fair, I want Envy to be fragging out. I just don't feel like Caden is himself unless he's doing this on the map. So let's see if we see some wiggly arms from those MB boys when we head back to Miramar, because the Sims and the Moses are waiting for us.
Hey, y'all.
Thank you, Frankie. I appreciate that. I am Moses, joined by Sims, and we are headed into the second game on Miramar of today. And we did see a very important performance last game from Optic. They've set the kill record for the tournament with 16. And speaking of kill records, I think that for Vegas, that was a big game for him. He's now got 17 kills, and I think that he might have jumped most of FaZe. I didn't see Fuzzface get kills last game. So I think that we might have a new kills leader.
Yeah, I think, and I apologize to any Optic Gaming fans out there. It didn't overshadow the win. It was still a damn good win.
They definitely won, but that's not what we were interested in.
It was the 16 kills which stunned me. I didn't realize they'd done it in so much style. Like, that is that's 160. No, it isn't. My math's terrible. Don't ever do that again on
Do the math right now. Go.
Is it 320?
I have no idea.
16 by 16. Is it 320 off the top of my head?
Yeah.
We'll go. You don't know, do you?
No.
Okay.
Math.
Very bad at it, never live on air. Anyway, so yeah, so sorry if Vegas' performance kind of overshadowed a bit. Fantastic, amazing, and incredible performance from Optic Gaming, absolutely, and it will jump them a fair amount of places. But again, the story of that game, Vegas been able to survive for so long, and more importantly, take out Eligiganton pretty much single-handedly to survive for so long, and then just peek, poke, ravage, and do everything else to several other teams from behind a car with a Car 98, ironically, to pick up plenty of points as well, but not only by placement.
I think that a big factor there was FaZe going up 16th as well. They were the first overall.
It's got to be minimal kills, if not any, surely as well.
They got 0 points for the whole game. So I mean, that's a big loss here for the first place team. They were holding on by only about 200 points against the second place team. So I mean, that's
they were 3rd in that game. That's who Vegas was shooting at, right?
I believe so. So as far as Unique is concerned, they might be in the first place position now. We'll get that confirmed here shortly. But overall, we are now headed into another pivotal game here on Miramar, where it's very difficult, we were talking about this during the break, to get any level of rest, as through the mid-game, it's just a sniping battle with so many active lines of sight. And for a team like Red Diamonds, they got picked apart with those lines of sight.
I mean, we were talking about it as well, how it's kind of, Miramar is that map, all right, with Erangel, we see a lot more close engagements as people can crush the compounds, where there's your level 2s, level 3s, and you can hit the wall and have some kind of survivability. With Miramar, it's an absolute sniper's fest. You love to see it, and people who can long range, your rangers, your marksmen, they absolutely excel. And this is why, and a few people have kind of mentioned it, you know, with a new map coming out today, why the hell's all the level 3s back on the map? Since level 2s became, level 3s only went into the crates, for instance.
He's having a snooze.
Right, fair enough. I mean, a lot of Swedish people do. You see what I did there? Snooze.
I get it. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to find out he was asleep.
But the level 2's been there, been able to knock them off with the Kar-98s. Snipers are just having a field day, and especially so much on a map like Miramar. It's open, it's big. Sometimes it can be a little bit slow. Yes, I agree, but snipers are just, they're loving life. We'll bring you the scores up, and we'll be able to show you shortly when we get into the game and see how this kind of did switch things up a little bit if you didn't catch it in the pre-game. But we're moving into map number 4, day number 2. This will be our second time on Miramar back-to-back. This time, Moses, we're starting in the north and heading and ending directly over the home turf, or funnily enough, the team that's on your right-hand side now, the Victors in Puerto Paraiso.
I was playing on Simsy's computer earlier today. I had a chance to play on the snow map. I would like to point out that he has got the lowest possible sensitivity when he's in his ADS. I was shooting it up, and I couldn't even control the recoil. It was so low, but I mean, clearly they've got something going for them, as we've seen Besiktas slowly creep up the leaderboard with their performance here today, and they've had some up and downs, but I think they're really performing well and positioning themselves well for their Pro League qualifier next week.
I think I wrote something down wrong. So I said that the Victors are actually going to Puerto, but it's actually a unique spot, which is me being silly and writing that down incorrectly.
Yeah, they're close enough.
Yeah, it's near enough the same, around the same place.
Who knows?
I mean, to be fair, for anyone that is lingering in the northern side, it causes them problems when you've got FaZe just chilling. Two teams will find themselves in Los Leones. Obviously, plenty of buildings around there, plenty of different highlights and all the building sites and so on and so forth. But we'll start off with now what is your third position. United have jumped up. You can see on the leaderboard on the left-hand side, Unique have actually jumped FaZe Clan. A 0-point game will see them fall by 104 to 138 points to be precise. They're down in second, but United, 100%. I never like to talk about just one unique individual player who will carry a team. It's not about carrying it, it's teamwork. You win as a 4, you die as a 4. But you have to say, Vegas right now, he is such a pillar amongst this roster.
And you know what, I think the thing I've noticed about United, first were introduced to them on LAN at PGL, where I think the overall team atmosphere was more negative than it is now. I think that this is a tournament where everyone's happy to be here, they're playing well, and I think the overall vibe is very positive these days with United. And you can kind of see that in their play, where after every game, regardless of what happens, they review the VODs. No one's getting sour and storming off, but they have their manager come out, they have a chat, get reset for the next game, and go. And United has been having a fairly solid performance, and they find themselves now in third place. With FaZe dropping down to second, they are in striking distance of that top 2.
The one thing that is the biggest change in the previous one is the team that I'm hoping we're going to look at now. Funnily enough, our observers are honing in on the green wall. From 12th place into 4th, what a difference a win and 16 kills can make. That's probably the biggest jump this weekend, surely. Like, this has done so well for them now, put it in contention for that top spot. This jumps them against all the guys that were lingering around and again in 4th place, and it certainly is almost by 100 points clear, but still in the back of everyone's mind, if one team can do it, any team can do it. But Optic coming out of North America, would you say probably the strongest team in North America?
I would say so, and at this stage of the tournament, that anyone can do it, that might be a cutoff after about 13th place there, where if you're sub 1,000 points here, at essentially the halfway point, it's going to be a tough day number 3, or tough climb, I should say, on day number 3. But that top half of the leaderboard is still close enough that anyone can definitely climb into those top spots. So if you're Optic Gaming, you have to feel very good about your performance today and overall. And there's that looming kind of that disconnect from the org that's coming up, and that's an unfortunate turn of events for them. But they're going to stay together, and having a good performance here is just going to look even better on their resume for whoever decides to pick them up next.
We will talk about Red Diamonds in just a second. I really want to just really quickly ask you one thing, get your opinion on it. Obviously, before coming into this, we did see Optic Gaming. It was announced that the organisation will be letting the roster go after this competition before the Pro League kicks off.
Right.
What do you think that does to the players' mindsets coming into this?
Well, it sucks. You're losing the one thing that all these guys often compete for in the early days. Like for Optic Gaming, a team that's been together for so long, and the core of them coming from the very early days of PUBG, they were one of the very first orgs to get signed to a major, and I mean one of the biggest orgs in North America, to Optic Gaming. So to lose that lifeline, they participate in content. They are obviously living on campus with the Optic Gaming staff. They have personal trainers. All these resources are suddenly gone, and you know, maybe that stability and that I guess that really the personal pride of being a part of the Optic Gaming organization. Losing that is one thing, but that's one thing that galvanizes you as a team. If you lose that organization and you stick together and continue to find success, that is the true test of a champion, I think.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a feels bad, man, especially being one of the biggest organizations in the world to lose Optic from PUBG. I do hope that they one day come back and potentially even pick them up. I mean, we saw it with the Vanguard. Hell, they saw their roster leave, get random friends, and they're back with them. Anything can happen in the future, but best of luck to both the organization and the boys currently sitting on Optic Gaming. Remember, really quickly, guys, if you are not following the stream, make sure you do hit the follow button now. And if you fancy subbing to the stream as well, you get the lovely emotes just down in the corner. Me and Moses are hoping when our faces will appear there very, very soon.
Yeah, I mean, we got displaced by a dog and the GLL logo, so...
And Froz.
And Froz. I mean...
I'm surprised Martin is to be honest with you, because he is quite literally a 6'2" living Danish meme. Very surprised he isn't on there.
I thought you were going to say just living Danish.
He's just a Danish pastry, isn't he? That's literally all Martin is these days. What a meme. What a meme. Anyway, rotations will start to come through as the blue zone will be pushing in around 16 seconds. And yeah.
Where's the tack stock? Come on.
From blue to green, the green machine is potentially in play. Anyone wants to go pick up the AWM, death will be swift. I think it's safe to say.
So one interesting contrast with teams that are facing losing a player due to the age restrictions on the Pro League. Wildcard Gaming having a lot of success in the past, playing with the same roster that they've qualified here for. Kickstart not having a terrific tournament, and Wildcard finding themselves in last place, and it's not looking good so far. Maybe that pressure, that looming roster change is starting to affect them mentally, Richard. Yeah,
I think for a few of these, I mean, even when we look towards Vegas, for instance, I think it should probably, for them, it should, if you're going to be in that position, have the opposing effect. You need to think, okay, well, if this is it, this is it. I need to go out with a bang and prove myself that when I do come of age, I'm going to be one of these players that you have to absolutely pick up. And, you know, you're going to be a free agent. They're going to come kind of windmilling into this. But, yeah, I think it's definitely going to upset some people, but you can't let that mindset affect this gameplay. I mean, hell, when we look towards Scoom, for instance, he knew he was being essentially removed from the Liquid roster, but he still played for them, and he still says, you know what? We started with a bang, we'll go out with a bang. I'll continue to play at the very best of my ability.
Won their tournament, too.
Yeah, exactly. For Na'Vi, I definitely think it was the other end of the brush. I mean, we saw Na'Vi where their players knew that there was going to be changes and knew things were going down, and they played absolutely dog trash.
Yeah, that they just crumbled instantly, essentially. So looks like Envy is going to be the recipients of the crate if they can find it, and that's the issue here on Miramar once again, especially around that northern water treatment area where the hills are so prevalent. And you might just lose it. And, yeah, maybe it's gone unclaimed. I guess we'll have a little inspection here, see if anyone's found the gift. And, oh, no, it's still there. So Envy is... they're right there, too.
Oh, if Caden or Venerator get a hold of that thing, imagine. Like...
Can't see it. Or maybe he did. Hello? Oh,
20
what's
kills.
That you find there, Caden? Did you see it?
Take it. 20 kills, easy. Headshots all around. Toggle on.
Maybe looking for... Oh, he has to see it. Caden, you there? He's going to get it. Yay, Caden. So that's the man you want to have it.
Look at the scope on the back. He's got what a terrible scope he's going to put on.
What is that, a hollow?
It's a hollow. Yeah. Feels bad, man.
Got to shoot in the right direction. We'll see what kind of utility you can use here, my friend. So
even up close and personal,
you've
it'll
got
still do
himself
damage.
A crate. So the armor is the big get here, ladies and gentlemen. It's not always about the scope. So maybe you can bum one off of one of his friends with the AWM, you know, find the investment and the maybe Bensix Toss coming along as well. So for Envy, this is another squaring off point where potentially we see Envy commit to a team fight instead of backing off. Now, I was surprised to see how, I mean, they don't have a ton of kills. They do have the most amount for where they are at in the leaderboard, but it's spread evenly across the team. So it's just about finding that confidence, and I think, and turning it up a notch.
Besiktas has pulled up. Now, this could be revenge. Now, remember, in the previous game, Envy pulled up, and Besiktas already waiting on the hillside. Took down one player, then forced them into an absolutely appalling position where they got picked apart by several different teams. Now, the shoe may be on the other foot. Envious are ahead of the game. In fact, they're not sticking around. They're moving forward. They do have vehicles. We can see that. 2 are sitting back, actually. I stand corrected. 2 will sit back and hold the line. Nope. As soon as I say that, they're getting vehicles. They're going to be moving as well. So transitions will come forward. The question is, will Venerated hit wildcard gaming? Because they're sitting pretty in this compound where he's going. Yes, indeed, he's been spotted. He's been shot at. But wildcard themselves are taking a lot of abuse from the opposing side, and that's in Dignitas. So North American teams picking each other off here.
Envy's going to leave.
Warning shots.
You know what that is? That's all they're doing is just trying to scare away the encroaching team, just to say, like, yep, we're here. Just let you know. It's like a peacock. Just kind of plume up a little bit and say, beat it. And that's what they're going to do. Could
be the other way around. You could just do what Ibby does in stream all day long, just shoot walls until people say, oh, hello, and then die.
It doesn't quite work that way in competitive, unfortunately. Like, you know what? I think we're going to take this fight. But just peek randomly. But for Sharp Shot, going to do enough to scare away Envy, which we've seen. I'm not saying that they should have pushed that compound, but we have seen the behavior where they don't really want to stray into harm's way. And really, it's so early in the game, at least for Miramar here in minute 11, where literally nothing has happened, that they don't want to risk being that first team eliminated on an ill-advised compound push. But making their way into the zone is Red Diamonds. They're going to come across Team Ready, who have spent most of the game and either this game and previous games prone, also waiting for something to happen.
I think a lot of teams still kind of aren't used to being able to take AR battles up close and personal. Like usually you'll be able to rotate through and around compounds, and you know your home foot and an Erangel, and it's like, well, I have a really good spray control, good teammates that'll back me up, and we can take these fights. But straight up, the biggest winner on this game, on this map, should I say, is sniper rifles.
Yep.
And his snipers. They just pop so many heads. The circle, as I'm talking, does come through. She shifts to the north.
All the way north, yeah.
And that's a hell of a lot of players alive. Oh, my.
Another this one with a suppressor, but he's going to get scared off. That is Besiktas. I figured they would see him and the crate as well. So Sharp Shot is going to get scared away. But look at that Maxizor. We've seen him in the past, and we've seen him now. He's got that Kar 980 to take down Simsy.
That's not a headshot either, so he's definitely been peeking and poking for a while to be able to do so much damage. In fact, he's shot him again, so that's 3 bullets now.
Help.
No, he's not getting no help. He's dead.
Yeah, he's on a tough spot to be rezzed.
Yeah.
And look at this. Avangard's decided they want to get involved as well. They're on the top side of Lux and kickstart, take down and finish Foxic, but now it's trading its Wildcard. Ooh, as Maxizor will finish him off. Wildcard of the Knights getting into it.
3 players just like that, back to back to back. They're all dead. They have found each other across this long road that goes between, like, the valley, if you want to call it that. And you've got all these little straight compounds and sheds and things. It's not even a compound, to be honest with you. There's like little mini garages, some kind of defense to the oncoming onslaught of bullets that will be falling around. Savage gets a warning shot, but unfortunately, it's done enough damage to be able to knock him down. The mini play with me at range. Dinks him. Smokes are there as well because he's getting a bit of a Hail Mary of bullets also. Gets spotted as his teammate standing just around the corner.
So this is a bit of an interesting situation there. In similar terrain here, Play With Me unfortunately on the low side. He's shooting up at Hugstar, poking away at the mini, using the ridge to their advantage. So right now it is all unique. Our first place team in Hugstar, or excuse me, El Gig, battling across the way. The res now coming. Hugstar again just trying to find, poking and prodding through the smoke with the mini. Nothing landing. Unique going to throw another supportive smoke for his teammate. Stand-in still in the down position.
I was about to say the position that they're in, they'll actually have a line of sight on these players that are holding them back. But it goes to Pika's advantage. Deegs is on the opposing side. He has a straight line of sight. Play With Me decide it's time to run, but here come the bullets flying through. Max is already getting the kill feed. That's Mexi taking a bullet to the brain. That's going to be a banger of a headshot straight down with the Kar9. And unfortunately, for Unique, things just haven't gone wrong. There's one. Stand-ins are potentially about. Is he down? Is he bleeding out?
Yeah, he is. I mean, that was I'm not sure.
They're gone. They've won it.
They're both going to lose one. So Unique, I like what the idea was. They're going to try and reposition to have all 4 together to try and take that fight with El Gig. But unfortunately, Play With Me was unable to survive. So that's 2 down for Unique, our first place team, losing Jeans as well. As Tripoli is going to not be able to sneak past Maxizor, who's now very active here in this early game. He's only got 1 kill, but we've seen him in the kill feed over and over again. And he's going to go down for the finish as there's nothing that Accelerate Game can do to help their fallen teammate, and the flush will occur.
mean, he was hoping to get a random dink. You could see the bullet tracers coming forward. It would have been an absolute banger of a shot. He's down. 16 points go their way. He takes out Trifeli. Insta-kill from James that we saw. So clearly he was in a vehicle. He got knocked out, and the speed of the vehicles, he hit the dirt, did kill him, which is rather unfortunate. Besiktas, I think is the right way of pronouncing it. They're in a Besiktas.
Who knows?
I think it's Besiktas.
Besiktas.
Well, whatever.
I'm sure someone will correct.
Yeah, we'll get a wild tweet saying you're wrong, casters, you're terrible. Please stop right now, which I'm fine with, to be honest with you, because Twitter always makes my day.
Or
so
he'll
much
just come
better.
over and tell us face to face.
I mean, I'm fine with that also. Bang, bang, bang. I'm hearing a body shot in the background, which means someone's taking a fair few bullets. Avanga up in the hillside there, split on the 2-2 ridge. Whoa, oh,
that's another vehicle issue here for Liquid. I think James got taken off his vehicle, but Beatsa is now apologizing. Sorry, friendo.
Look at the gear they're wearing, though, Moses. Level 1 helmets. To be so this kind of far into the game, and you're rocking, what's that, level 2 on the AKM?
That's
Level 1 helmet.
That's the majesty of Miramar loot right there, but I did see a level 3 vest on EB, so...
Okay. Makes up for it.
Optic is arriving very late. They've gone all the way around from the southern side, and they're arriving on the northwestern side at the edge of the zone, so relatively conservative strategy here for a team that's been climbing the leaderboards today. Dignitas, having lost one, has an interesting split here with Purdy Curdy in the low god building with Adam and Uncivil above. They've got the Knights just a little bit far off to the distance. I think they've already traded 1-for-1 with Voxic and losing Voxic rather, and Texas picking up the difference.
I think it's good to have Purdy there because he can keep another angle on that building, so they can't really eject without them being seen, so to speak. Right. Or maybe if they go for a peek, he gets the advantage on them being able to see them. It also stops them being pushed from the backside, and if he sees any vehicles that want to try and hit the compound, he can get some shots of, or at least call it out. Optic. No rest for the wicked. They're off vehicles in hand, and they're going to try and get into this circle to boot straight up. NIP are doing the same. Mikas and his teammate on the back. A few bullets, but they have to turn around. The bike's just not doing it up that hill, so they'll have to opt to run away. Besiktas earlier on did lose one, as you did see in the earlier starts of the game, but now they get the information that Optic is behind them. The Red Diamonds have pushed up closer. Liquid, they're also on the... Oh, now it's interesting. I think Liquid are going to go to the same compound that Sharpshot's actually gone to.
And he's going to get the warning as well.
Yes, they are.
As Tumay's going to call it out for his teammate, as both Yempty, I believe, Beats, or that's Yempty and Samty with the Beats. All three are there now, and Sharpshot's going to have to hold this down all by himself. He's got the info from his teammates, but he's going to have to bail out. There's just no way that he can trade that out, but they're going to hear the Marauder, rather, moving around, and they're going to come out to find him. His Sharpshot is stuck in the open. He sprays but doesn't get anything in return. He's half health. He's going to have to bandage. Something's going to have to happen. This is not looking good for Sharpshot. Meanwhile, Optic arriving a little bit further to the north. They're on foot, maybe not having a line of sight just yet, but he does have the support of his teammates from distance. But Sharpshot cannot make any moves here on the interior of this building, and it looks like Liquid is not going to press this action.
I'm fine with it because they don't know exactly how many are there. Samty did just get a grenade out, which maybe says he's going to go and try and go for the push. Ibi will catch him. So now they'll be able to say, okay, how do we play this one? 3 members all on one corner. Samty's going to hold the angle for the backward flush if they really want to do it. But no, you're right, Moses. They're going to sit here for a while. I mean, there's no point in losing anybody when you're already one man down. And unfortunately, the event hasn't been going their way so far. They really don't want to lose anymore going into these final few circles.
FaZe Empty double peeks out with Fuzzface and kills Sharpshot. Just want to point that out.
Yeah?
I think so. I mean, they have no other evidence other than the fact that they have one guy shooting at him outside, but there's no aggression there. I'm wondering, and maybe I'll ask them this later, but if there's a reason why they don't go for that.
Olm comes into play.
There goes Iro, as well as Merkin.
Dead. Yep, they managed to find him. And again, I think that comes down to Optic's placement. I mean, placing themselves on the map. I mean, it was a great rotation, to be honest. They've essentially done like a U-turn, gone all the way up on the western side, and then decided, okay, well, we'll try and bank where no one's going to be and then flood down.
Sharpshot's rejoined his teammates on the top of the hill. They let him get out.
That's fair play. I mean, obviously, they won't let him get away necessarily, but to be able to not to push him. If you know what I mean. I'm following you there. I actually prefer it from Liquid. Why bother? If you don't know exactly how many are going to be behind that corner, what's the point in trading players off? I mean, losing a pawn for a pawn, so to speak. If you're playing chess, you might as well just kind of hold the 3-man stack and stay heavy because they're inside the circle. Why bother try and push out?
Looks like Vegas is going to pick up his first kill of this game. Maxor also been active. He's got 2. Finds back Savage. They've already traded a couple of times.
Got a reload, fam.
Here's Mixie. Phase. A lot of damage onto this Murado.
Finish it.
Oh, there it is.
Vac man. He's down. Instead with the vehicle explosion. There's no res or coming back from that. Elegigantum will make their way up the mountain, but they've got to be careful.
2v2.
2 members of Avanga and 2 individual members that are ridiculously good aimers. That's a mini and a K9, so you have to be careful. That vehicle should go up in smoke.
Poor Iroh.
Tries to run away, but, well, not even run away, but get out of the vehicle before it goes up. That'll make no difference whatsoever. Vad puts him in the ground. GG, you're out for this one, my friend.
Still looking for his first kill on LAN is Iroh.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's not good. That's a Fields bad ban. Circle. Goes more to the western side. Bit of a hard shift, so to speak, more to the western southerly area. NIP. They're in a fairly good spot, but they are on the edge. The next one might push away from them. They do have the Knights directly in front of them. Liquid. They're not resting. They're not staying around. Savage has just killed himself, so...
He's had enough.
Yeah, he thinks, okay, we're done.
Sixmo is just
Oh,
crashing
look at
into
all these players.
That's an unfortunate turn of events as Sixmo actually is going to arrive. He's relatively safe because he's in a bit of a bowl, but Liquid would have heard him there as Samty is taking damage on the low side, so maybe Liquid not ready to make a move there. Sixmo making the zone. The Knights are there in decent position. NIP also, having picked up a couple of kills on the edge of the zone, find themselves in decent position. They've got a bit of a spread. No map control just yet, but Optic feeling good at the northern side. They have a similar spot.
Just CIS PUBG things. Circle's moved in and Maxi's gone to get a crate that's just on the edge of the blue.
He's like, oh, see you later.
There might be an arm in there. I might be able to kill more people. I welcome it. I'm fine with it. Geist goes down. He spots him with the minute. That's just off on the ridgeline. Vegas says, okay, a doozy. Trying to run the gauntlet here. Out the back of the vehicle, and on his ass is gone. Now, Unique, that's #1 spot.
Yes.
And FaZe are taking him out, so Uber gets the kill.
Yep.
This is a complete flip around. We had our first place go down in last in the last game. Now, in this game, again, we get our first place going down in last with minimum to maybe no kills. So this leaderboard at the moment, everything is up for grabs. These top teams, they're losing points in a massive way. They're bleeding them out. All the teams at the bottom, they're working their way up. This is starting to get a very interesting competition.
Yeah, it's what happens when it's like splitting the vote in an election. You know, we have these top teams killing each other. That gives the other teams an opportunity to climb. And now it looks like it's Wildcard's turn to take a crack at Dignitas, who have not been playing very well this tournament, unfortunately, as they have all 4 strong. Does it United as well? They've got Vegas with 1 kill, and they've got now Envy on top of them. That's 2 down very quickly. This is what Envy needs. This is what Envy needs here. A good team fight, and they've got the advantage to start. We'll see if Vegas has got any magic left, as Geist is going to get finished off.
Oh, no.
Oh, look at that toss. Vegas is just not paying attention to the other team fight. He's going to get down by FaZe, and this is not looking good for E United, now down to just 1.
Envy in the front, FaZe in the back. It's not what you want to see. They are going to push on, accelerate. They must know that these players are here, surely.
Look at Avangard just tumbling down the mountain in the background.
Look at the nades. They're up and over.
There goes United.
15th place for a very high placement compared to last time. The flush comes through.
Wow,
FaZe and Co. pushing them out.
Just picked up 7 kills.
Out of nowhere. I mean, they've just battered 2 teams back to back. Simple as that.
On 2 different fronts.
That's amazing.
Almost.
Okay, so FaZe getting themselves back into this one. They've got themselves inside the circle as well. Happy days for them. It looks like we've also seen Caden a few times now. 3, I believe, knocks and 2 kills from the AWM, putting it to damn good use. Liquid with Fleet, Wildcard, Knights, and Besiktas. We see Diamonds, Optic, Ninjas, FaZe, Envious, Dig, and Avanga all still with 4 players alive. That's pretty huge.
Look at
Senpai.
Look at that nade bounce. Got close, but not close enough. Envy altogether. Dignitas is there. I don't think that Envy can do anything here other than hold their ridge, just make sure that no one peeks across. Wildcard is not going to get aggressive, Richard. It looks like this is going to be a bit of a stalemate between 3 and 8 teams.
When this circle updates, I want to really, we'll wait until it does, but I want to look at this map and see where people can go. If anywhere is really, here we go, anywhere's really open for them. I mean, every single compound is going to be taken at this rate. Central, not quite, more to the north. Optic again, they get an advantage here. They have all the biggest and best compounds. Avanga have one as well. They'll be sitting pretty. Optic's sitting pretty. Red Diamonds, they have to move, but Optic Gaming should be able to see them to the left-hand side. Besiktas, they're happy. They have a dip and a divot on top of the hill. These teams up here on this hillside, though, to get inside, they have to run a gauntlet. 1 of every other frigging team that's there in front of them.
Yeah.
But 2, more importantly, how many teams get out of that? If two, maybe a couple of players from each one, it's going to be so scrappy and so dirty.
Let's see if Fuzz checks this rock. Oh, he pops up, and look at that. Here's Rustenmar surprising him.
Oh,
Fuzz will not have a
cruel.
chance to check an instant flush as Rustenmar is going to avenge his teammates, and he's going to get shot either in the back or in the front. I didn't see who landed that, but that's a bounce off the back of the head. And Wildcard very quickly getting eliminated in a tandem of Avangar and Liquid Bullets. As they tried to make the zone, I was thinking that Envy might make it first, and I believe they did, and Rustenmar just barely avoids death. The smokes are down, they're spraying, trying to find him. He's out there looking for more. He gets down Mixie. He might go for a flush. This is not looking good for FaZe. Rustenmar backs down a little bit further. We've seen him go off in the past. Uba spraying the smoke, looking for anything here. And he is concealed as the res will start, but now this is not looking even worse for FaZe, as Rustenmar will be quickly finished off by Uba, and they avoid disaster as they start getting pressure from Avangar down the road.
It's amazing how one player like that can cause so many problems for a team, like to not only knock and flush and remove Fuzzface from the game completely. I mean, Fuzz is a very strong individual fragger. That's pretty huge for the rest of the team to see if FaZe never go out. But then to knock your IGL in the form of Mexi afterwards is going to do damage to the body armor that he's wearing. His helmet was still there. Meanwhile, this North American battle
now
up on top. Look at this.
Now they're just roommates, so they have Dignitas surrounding them.
It's Alo that's the problem, though, because he can sit back and watch any kind of escape route or tell his teammates to push when it's time. Uber's gone down. That's a trade-off from his old teammate potentially there, an Octave. The zone got him. He knocked him in the zone.
Yeah, that's unfortunately getting knocked and then finished by the zone, as now Dignitas is going to make their play, and they're running on to Envy. Envy's going to trade 1-for-1 as Interrogator goes down now, and Sim will take down Caden and flush him as well. Dignitas now looking at a 3v1 situation. And meanwhile, we have Avangar as 4 picking apart at base. They try and make their way through. Pat Caps last man standing. This is an 11th place finish potentially here for Envy, as Pat Caps is now going to dial it back, I should say, and play conservative, trying to avoid an outside of the top 10 finish. But the zone has arrived, and that is going to force Dignitas out as well, who's maybe been held up just a little bit too long here, Richard.
I mean, for Pat Caps, it's do or die here. It's as simple as that. You either run into one team or you try and heal through it. He's dead. Okay, zone got him. That's 11th place for Envy. Not a good finish. Mexi goes down. He gets traded as he takes out one on the opposing side from Dignitas. He's finished as well. Complete bleed out there from an Octave. Goes in with the minute. Itzy looking for more. He knows that Dig have been shooting around. He actually might catch him.
He's going to go for it.
Here. Here's it. Sprays him, and all of a sudden Dig, they're down. They are gone. 10th place finish for the North American team there. As Itzy is a one-man army continuing solo on his own. But the circle's not been very kind. I'll tell you it has been kind to. Right now, it feels like it's a magnet on Optic Gaming.
They're looking great. They've got 4. They've got the compound, and they are the only ones, aside from the Liquid boys, in zone right now. So their positioning is feeling very good, and this is a good game for Optic to try and vault even further up the leaderboard. Itzy's got a long run, but he did secure himself further finish now with El Gigantin getting eliminated by Optic. Valiant taking him down at distance, and now NIP and Rudd Diamonds are in a similar position to try and get through Besiktas on the edge of the zone. And now here come the Knights. They're coming down on top of Liquid. Samty and Yempty, the twins, going down first, with NIP rotating around the side, and it's only a BC. He's going to have to try and defend. He's coming around the side. He's going to try and get it. Oh, the nade's out, but not quite being able to finish. And he's running back into the shack. It's not happening, and just like that, Liquid's eliminated by the Knights in one fell swoop.
Did you bait him inside? But I'll tell you what. Out with the fire and into the frying pan because... Oh, it's all the way around, but never mind. We'll go with it anyway. Texas, he needs to be very careful. His teammates are the walking wounded. Kramer, he's down. He's very, very injured, but the nades are coming through because NIP, they were following each other in a little track. Yeah. You saw Liquid go first, then all of a sudden we saw the Knights come in. They took them out, but now NIP, this is a European bloodbath. 3 teams going in a 3-way right now. It's not looking good for all these because even if they make it out, they're going to lose so much utility. There's so many bodies. What an absolute banger of a grenade. He killed them all.
That was a bit of a red zone coming from 2 different sides. It was Asverin on nade to one side and then NIP on the other, and the Knights just get bombed out of the game.
3 players with 3 teams.
Yeah, that's a tough turn for NIP. They're getting bullied here as now Besiktas and Red Diamond staging to fight, and now it's NIP, the survivors, going against Avangar, the aggressors on the low-hand side. It looks like the nades still being traded back and forth. Meanwhile, Besiktas trying to hold a defense in their compound, and it looks like Tamil's going to get found first. The Stairway Master Ultra gets one down, and it's back and forth in two massive fights here on the edge of the zone. It is just a victor waiting to be crowned here as a nade bounces up and in as Maxizor takes down Gaxi.
Bit of a Kobe as it hits him in the face. This will give them an advantage now to pushing it. We do know the CIS aggression is an absolute real thing, and it all comes down to Miracle. What can he do?
Another nade.
He needs a miracle, and the grenade's going to probably be a smoke on the side, which will at least not. He doesn't tag it. So much smoke. He'll stay alive for as long as possible. I tell you what, Avanga, they know this one. They know where he is. They have to, surely.
There it is. Nades the story of this battle, as now it's only Ultra. He's also being swarmed in his own angry nest of Russian bees, as it's Red Devils. They're all around the outside. And Ultra is going for the revive here, trying to get one back as an ally, as Tamil will come back up, and now holding the stairs once again. They can hear the footsteps, and it's going to be Best Luck showing himself first, and he gets a little bit of information, and now he's going to go for the double peek potentially. Yes, there's one on the outside, looking for the headshot. He quite can't land it. It's Sid. Oh, he does.
They're pushing him.
Yeah, now it's time. They see the damage. One down, and Red Diamonds are swarming, and they will take down Besiktas.
Just like that. A two-man push. They knew they were damaged. They knew they were tagged, but they will put them in the ground. Now look at this, Moses. How often do you get 3 teams with all 4 alive in this circle? Once again, it's Optics every single time. They are...
That's a tough crossing, man. There's a lot of utility going to have to be used here.
What do you do?
It's all smokes and just trying for a pick, praying for a pick.
I mean, Maxi can make something happen. With this AWM, if he finds a face, they can... Literally, he has to open the doorway here.
No, there it is! There's one down. Valiant actually trading 1 for 1, so maybe they make the crossing, don't go for the res, but he's looking for another one, but they're going to back off and go for this res. They want to keep that strength of the team up. Valiant is likely going to be resed as well, but now Red Diamonds, excuse me, has found maybe an opening here to try and put some aggression onto Inuctive. Pin is going all the way on the wide flank. He's on the edge of the blue. A minute now, the circle is closing. You can see it moving on the side. Inuctive distracted, and Inuctive will actually take one down, but they will trade, and that's opening Pin's flank to continue as Snoopy and the rest of the team is found on the low side. I don't know if they're going to be able to try and escape here, but they're going to be running right into Optic. This is not looking good for Avangar.
Yeah, that knock was what they needed, because now they can advance, they can wipe this team out, and at least if they can't take out Optic, if they can't get to that position, at the very least... Oh, wait a minute, they're getting done from the hillside, because of course,
this is
Optic are in an elevated position, so they'll have the eye line on them.
10 kills for Avangar, but this is looking like Optic's game to lose. One after the other, Valiant looking to finish, and he will get it. That's another kill going to Optic, only with 3, but a terrific position here.
Is Maxi still alive? Okay, so he's still lingering with that AWM. They have to be careful. It's already done enough damage to remove the helmet from Valiant at the backside. Bawaka's on the wall. Hetra goes for an interesting run, but he'll be out in the open. Snoopy gets a warning shot from the wall as well, so now they know where Baha is with the 6 times.
Avangar's got to be out of smokes by now, I think.
I mean, you'd have to assume so. Surely they've used so many to push it up.
He's hitting the freaking terrain, man. Best of luck. He's got to move up a little bit. He's trying to get one through, but the terrain is just preventing him from hitting anything. As now this is probably the last stand here for Avangar with all, or excuse me, with Red Diamonds. They've got 5 kills themselves. Looking for a little bit of a snipe here. They can get Hypoc down. That might give them a bit of an avenue. But look at the map control from Optic. They just have everything locked down.
That's the thing for Hypoc. He doesn't have to make the first move here. You can peek, but really there's no point. They already peeked and got taken down by an AWM, so why bother? You have over 60% of this circle covered by 4 individual players.
Perfect spread by Optic.
Let the CIS boys fight each other out.
Yeah, I mean, really, you can clean up here. So for Optic, the zone is going to be doing most of the work for now. For Red Diamonds, you just have to push into the open. They have the smokes down, but if Avangar doesn't get them, Optic will. So for Avangar, they've got a ton of kills, but yes, it's going to be an absolute shooting gallery as Optic is picking Red Diamonds apart.
That nade. He wants to. If he lobs a nade straight up, he's going to blast them all to bits. Maxi's still trying to find a peek.
They're going for the res, but that zone is also like a rolling pin, pressing them out of this game. One after the other.
Oh, wait, that's...
They'll get a couple there, so that's actually a good pickup for Avangar as they eliminate Red Diamonds. Now 12 kills, and here comes another nade. Oh, that's right on top of them! Oh, that's another touchdown from Hetror, who will land another nade kill, and that's 5 now for Optic. Here comes the follow-up. And that's going to, well, would have finished off Snoopy, I would have said, but now Maxizor, they're coming out for aggression, and they want more as Hetror is taking the high side with the SKS, the nades falling all around. Another one goes down, and this is all Optic.
Yeah, they're just continuously aggressively just lobbing the nades at him. They have to go up the hill. He finds him. He gets a knock back.
Not going to get it.
Might pick up 16 points, but that's not going to win them the game whatsoever. Back-to-back games just like that. North America has come alive. Optic Gaming seal the deal here in the second map of Miramar.
Terrific performance. I mean, that was, we'll call it clear. I think the first victory was a little bit more earned. That circle did them a lot of favors here in the second game, but regardless, they played it masterfully, and they live as 4, and they will secure the victory 2 in a row here for Optic Gaming. Terrific performance. That was a super brutal circle for both Red Diamonds and Avangard to try and deal with, but a lot of intense fighting. There was fight after fight, all grenades. It was crazy how that last part of the game played out.
I think it's wild to see such a difference, and in the light of games, how one game we just see FaZe top of the leaderboard out in 16th. Next game, Unique top of the leaderboard out in 16th. While all this is going down, you've had Optic, who came into it as I think 10th this morning, then 12th throughout this. There is a potential now that they could be at least top 2, maybe even top number 1. But yeah, that's enough from us on the casting side. I want to hear what the players on Optic have to say. Dave, over to you.
Yo, what's up? Back-to-back chicken dinners over here for Optic. Spam that green wall right now in the chat. I'm with Hetror and Hypoc. So let me go to Hypoc real quick. What was the turning point that game for you guys?
I mean, we made a pretty risky rotation far up north. Can't say any other way than we got circle. We got a lot of circle that clear, which we haven't had, so it's nice to have a game where we do get that now. Got to the point where everyone just killed each other and we had a free push out onto the road, so it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, like you said, you push up early to the north. You got to that compound. That was the only compound in, what, like 3 different circles. Every time that circle popped, what was the team comps like? Were you guys, like, just laughing?
I mean, we were pretty surprised because there was 2 teams actually occupying the compounds west of us, and I don't know what the thought process was there, but they actually gave up the best of the 3 compounds to go elsewhere to shacks and move to terrain and whatnot. So right then and there, we just called to kind of send it to the compound, and you know, it just the circle kept coming to us. So
hey, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. So Hetror, thanks for coming up here. By the way, I asked him what the turning point was for this game. I want to ask you, is this the turning point for Optic as a whole at this event?
I think it was probably last game. Getting a win really boosts our confidence. We feel pretty strong on Miramar. I think Miramar is our better map of the 2, honestly. So we got, what, 3 more Miramar games? So, I mean, who knows? We might win this last one. So, I mean, yeah, 3-piece it.
Yeah, the only team here to get back-to-backs, right? Now, if you get the 3-piece, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We got to do something, right?
Whole team interview?
Coming in with champagne, right? We'll dance up around.
I'll come in with champagne.
Yeah.
Also, Esquire from the Lounge Stream, he wants me to thank you for, you told him something about shoes. Like, did you tell him?
Shoes or?
You said something about shoes. I don't know. Like, you told him to buy shoes.
Oh, it's the NMDs, yeah. Esquire's big into a shoe game, so I don't know why he messages me for advice, but he does.
All right, he just wanted me to tell you thanks live. So, all right, well, I'm going to let these guys go back there, break it down with their squad. Hey, Hetror, thanks for coming up here, man. Hypoc, thanks for coming up here. Guys, let's see what the desk has to say.
We had a proper hoedown showdown in the final couple of circles there. 4v4, V4, Avanga, Optic, Red Diamonds. Optic, of course, reigning supreme. But the fiesta of fighting really began with the Shack, didn't it, Scoom, and Team Liquid?
Yeah, Team Liquid were early on in that Shack, I think around the 4th or 5th phase, and there was so many crazy fights going, as you see here. Texas pushing in with that nade that ended up killing Ibiza. Yeah, there was 4 teams going for this Shack. You had, initially Liquid was staying there. You had Knights initially push as fast as possible to that area, which is, it's like a little bowl carried around by all these hills, so it made it really easy to push. And I think that was a mistake that Knights made. I think Knights pushed way too early. I think they should have held a bit back and actually waited before the push, because what ended up happening, they pushed, they were successful, and then NIP ended up rotating around behind them, pushed them as well, were victorious, and then you had Avanga from the bottom hearing the fight and caught NIP off guard on the push. So that was pretty much the game. That shack was literally what made the game, and Optic was just chilling at the top. Just,
I kind of feel like
with
Liquid here, obviously they went to that shack, but they actually had the position that Avanga had before, so they left the warehouse because they wanted to get to a more central position. But when we're in Miramar and we see these kind of open circles where you have a lot of open space, maybe mountains around everything, I don't feel like it's always worth it being in the middle because you're so exposed in those areas, those open areas, and especially with, you know, big kind of ridges around, you can easily get third party, you can easily get snuck up upon. So I think it's a misplay from Liquid there, actually pushing us that. Obviously, I know it's good having a center position at fourth circle, but from the position that Avanga had, they could really push and third party that so easily.
I think that comes down to map experience and knowledge, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have that much hours in Miramar in that specific area. It's kind of uncommon, and I think Liquid, they know they want to take a better spot, but I don't think they knew how kind of bad that spot could have been ended up being.
Maybe Liquid, I think, too soon, but I'm going to take the opposite position of both of you, maybe to my detriment in terms of when Knights made their move. The key to Miramar is moving when you can't get third-partied, right? Waiting for the fights to break out. At the time Knights pushed, Atesy, the banker himself, was in the process of eliminating, I think it was Dignitas. Yeah. He was fighting his way through Team Ready, and that told them this side of the map is not ready to fight us. So they used that time, did this Texas 200 IQ grenade push where he tossed a grenade through the hole, then ran around and forced Liquid back inside, so they killed themselves. They had to make that move when they did. And then, of course, the rules of engagement on Miramar are you hear a fight, you engaged, and a Vengar and Ninjas in Pajamas did the same thing. Exactly. So really, I think Knights had no other choice. They knew there were people to my left. Now's the time when the fight's on the right. Yes, it was a little premature for their liking, but you've got to take advantage when the time presents itself.
Avanga, I am wondering if you are ready and willing to give us your artistic impression of that penultimate game of the day.
I don't know. We can see it here, but let's take a look at optics. We can see it. Yeah, we can actually see it. It's good.
You look beautiful, Avanga. Just I love what you've done with your hair.
Yeah. What have I done? Right, good. Yeah. The memes are good. Obviously, this is the route that take looted down Puerto Paraíso, south of Los Leones, and then their rotation. As Hypox said, they had a big. They looted even down here in prison, and then they went all the way up to the north. And let's take a look at here. Let's zoom in on this. So they got a lot of circles, but they actually didn't get too many circles. They ended up taking 3 stops before they went into that compound. So they took this compound, stopped here, and scouted, and no. Yes, okay, and scouted from here. What the hell? Okay, no. Let's try again.
You need the gentle touch.
They scouted from here, went to up here, and then they went down and stopped here, and scouted that compound and went to this compound. So they got some circles, but they played it extremely well because they stopped and scouted for 3 circles. Yes, we had 3 shifts that went north, but for me, I feel like kind of their position and decision making when you have so extreme north circles twice, and then you go on the northern side of the circle, then technically the majority of the people, they're going to be in the south because they were centered in phase 1 and phase 2. So making this move here is really important.
Pretty much what FaZe did in the Wrangle game when it was Saverni. They went north side and they controlled the whole of north. It ended up did shrinking north, but they controlled all that side. Pretty much what Optic did here after the 3rd phase. And then, all the chaos happened in the hill and they did get circles, but they played it really well to get there in the first place.
They did. That's what I had.
And I think it comes down to, and they did this in the last game too for Optic, is the loot spread they're doing is very unique. I don't know if you've noticed, but Valiate is leaving his team in their drop where you showed us and going over to Prison Island to do a little bit of looting, and I think it's Las Higos, whatever that small little area is called. And what that's doing is it's controlling the entire south of the map. So when the circle shifts east, Valiate plays catch-up like he did in the last game. But on this one, when it went sort of north and opened up the west, he said, I've been listening. I know no one is across the bridge. I know this side of the map is empty. It's away from the plane path. We're going to rotate this way.
Exactly.
So they're basically always able to play opposite a vertical plane, and it's working really well for them.
Well, let's take a look at the scores from that last round on Miramar. I'm really curious to see where FaZe were, because I know they had 7 kills, and no, they came out in 7th, sorry, they had 10 kills, and that's why they are in 4th right now.
11 kills,
incredibly aggressive, 12 kills, sorry, and second place.
11 kills for FaZe, a lot of that on the back of Atesy putting up a really good fight. Him and Uba, right? The 2 new guys held them together on this match. So we saw the veterans go down very quickly against that sort of, I think it was it Ready to sneak attack them or was it Accelerate?
Oh, Accelerate, yeah.
Accelerate.
Phosphate pushed up alone, and then I think it was Rust and Mar. It was Rust and Mar
did a great job of taking Mixie and him down. And then the two new guys said unacceptable. And 8Z, Money in the Bank again, takes out 2 teams to guarantee 11 kills and a good position in this game.
Here we go and see how has that affected things.
Okay.
Face?
There you go.
Back up the top.
Look at, oh my God, look how close we have from 4th and down to 8th. We're talking 118 points from 4th to 8th.
And you love to see
so,
it.
It's so close. Obviously, there's a kind of a big jump down to Envy now. Liquid is down there as well.
Surprising to see them.
Is down there as well. Yeah.
And Accelerate 12th place as well.
Yeah.
Kind of shocker to see Liquid Accelerate down there, considering the first day that they had.
The question is, boys, is there anyone we can totally discount right now?
I mean, as we go into the last game of the day, unless the Team Dignitas, that sort of bottom 4, have the game of their life, and I'm not kidding when I say game of their life, yeah, they're going to come in tomorrow with heads down and not feel like they can get back into this, especially when you look at FaZe's numbers. FaZe on day 2 and the position they're in going into the last game, you never, literally, never want to see that. FaZe cannot be in first place going into day 3 if you don't want them to win the tournament, historically. Like, these guys have never finished below 5th place. I'm going to say it again. They have never finished below 5th place in a LAN. So letting them be in first at the end of day 2, it's bad news bears.
Same thing for Liquid, actually. They have not dropped out of top 5 in this 10th place right now, leading into the last game of day 2. So it's kind of scary for them.
It's definitely scary for Liquid.
And before we actually go to a break, I do want to remind everyone at home and these guys behind us that if you win a chicken dinner here at the GLL Season 3 Finals, you do win yourself a tidy $1,000. So Optic have got themselves a couple of grand, and so have the Knights. I am going to be making friends with them at the after-show party. But for now, let's head to a break before we come back for the last map of the day.
Guys are peeking in the dip.
From pinged.
Guys, I tagged
Dip guys are nading up. Dip guys are nading up.
I naded a guy, maybe in
Dip
dip.
guys are on, be careful.
Knocked one up top.
Knocked one in dip, knocked one in dip.
Going now, go, go, go.
3 up, 1's knocked, right?
Here we're playing smart.
Got the finish in the smoke. I'm gonna play up top. Fuck, I gotta reload.
Play it slow here, we control center and circle.
Nice.
Nice, nice.
That was far left.
Tagged.
Nice!
Nice!
Woo! Good shit, boy.
Guess I'm doing an interview.